In the national spotlight this past week, the Daily Wire is the only outlet reporting on the conviction of 5 pro-life activists. They say, the Biden Department of Justice successfully swayed a jury on Tuesday to convict 5 pro-life activists for demonstrating at a controversial abortion clinic, which the DOJ argued violated the Freedom of Access to Clinic Entrances Act, also known as the FACE Act. What is the FACE Act? Well, as the article just said, it's the Freedom of Access to Clinic Entrances. Specifically, Justice.gov defines the FACE Act as the federal government may bring criminal charges under the Freedom of Access to Clinic Entrances Act, or FACE, which prohibits threats of force, obstruction, and property damage intended to interfere with reproductive health care services or other federal criminal statutes where arson, firearms, and threats were also used. The FACE Act is not about abortions. The state protects all patients, providers, and facilities that provide reproductive health services, including pro-life pregnancy counseling services and other pregnancy support facility providing reproductive health care. Now, I think it's an oxymoron to claim that abortions are reproductive health care. They're not caring for anyone's health. In fact, they're conducting murder. They act like it's the removal of a pancreas or a kidney. It's not healthcare when you're literally destroying the health of someone. But you notice that the act is supposed to protect both abortion clinics and pro-life or pregnancy centers. The acronyms E stands for entrances because the federal crime would be blocking the entrance to these facilities or preventing people from entering. That explains the use of the word obstruction, but it also entails property damage. Anything that would obstruct entrance or damage the facility, rendering it useless to its services, whether that be baby murder or pregnancy care and counseling. Now, here's what happened. The article says, conservatives quickly expressed outrage over the case, especially since the activists, Lauren Handy, 28, John Henshaw, 67, Heather Adoni, 61, William Goodman, 52, and Herb Garrity, 25, face 11 years behind bars and were thrown in jail to await their sentences. So they're in prison. They've been in prison since 2020. The activists also each face a $350,000 fine. So what exactly happened? They say the activists engaged in a sit-in demonstration at the DC-based Washington Surgiclinic late-term abortion facility in October 2020. According to reporting from CBN, the demonstrators sang songs, prayed, locked arms in front of the facility's staff entrance, and attached themselves with ropes and chains to block doors inside the building in an effort to, quote, delay the murder of kids, end quote, the activists said. So pro-life activists are usually at these murder clinics to plead with the mothers to not follow through. They want to talk them out of it. You may have seen pro-lifers set up with large posters depicting the evils of abortion, like showing the bodies of aborted babies and dismembered body parts. But in this case, as you just heard, the activists were singing and praying, which there's no problem there, but blocking admittance to the building is what violated the act. For Christians, there are 2 thoughts here. First, we want to do everything we can to prevent the murder of innocent children. But secondly, as Christians, we're to abide by the laws of the land. Blocking the building is admirable, but when the other side sees that as an obstruction to, quote, vital health care, they take it as a serious crime. So that's what has happened here. The article adds, the Surgiclinic is particularly controversial due to recent undercover footage allegedly showing suspect practices by staffers, including making women take Xanax before meeting with an abortionist and giving final consent. Now, this is the undercover video, which shows a few unbelievable things. There's nothing graphic in this at all, but I want you to see the murder clinic in question.
I'm just feeling very self-conscious because I feel like you guys probably don't see a lot of people as far along as I am, except for like medical emergencies. And
No, not at all.
I mean, I know that it's,
Oh, yeah. Nah, you're fine.
yeah, it's not like the odd one out.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, we see a lot of people as far further than you.
Can you tell me a little bit more about like the removal process? Because she said it's not labor.
No, you don't go through labor.
Okay.
Well, I'll tell you what. You can ask the doctor that specific question. when
That
you
makes
see him.
sense. He would know.
Yeah, he would know because he's the one doing it. So
Right.
He'd be able to explain.
Actually,
it to
that
you.
would make me. I would be glad to be able to talk to him directly,
Yeah.
since he would know.
Yeah.
She said that. I'm sorry.
It's okay. The tissue's right there for you.
Thank you.
sweetie.
She said that. She won't feel anything.
No. The
Are you
fetus-
sure?
Yes, the fetus is completely comfortable. We do it as humanely as possible.
That's exactly the word I was looking for. Will she already be?
No,
Oh,
we don't do a lot of people do the injection through the heart and all that. We don't do that here.
okay.
We don't
I
do that
didn't even
here.
know. Okay.
Yeah.
So
So she'll be alive when you go to sleep, but she will definitely have passed before he does anything.
that's what I was wondering. So I'm sorry. So for once he's actually doing a removal, she's
already-
It's just remains
Yes,
at that point.
exactly. She's already gone.
Okay. And then the remains are just like incinerated, or
Yeah,
okay.
goes to medical waste.
Okay.
So I just need your initials in the highlighted area. That just says we talked about it.
This is the possibility of.
Yeah.
This is the possibility of labor, basically.
Yeah, spontaneous abortion.
I'm sorry. That means
You may go into premature labor and deliver the fetus in your hotel.
you guys have, like, this is what you do. You have experience this far along.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, it's not just at like 22 or 18 or something.
No, we specialize in this far along.
What are these?
These are the same ones I just gave you in the envelope.
Okay.
So the two big blue ones are the doxycycline, that's your antibiotic.
Okay.
The two white ones are the acetaminophen, your pain medicine. And then the two blue ones are the Xanax. Those guys are just going to help relax you.
Is it okay if I take these after I talk to the doctor?
Well, unfortunately, they need to be in your system in order for the
Before he
doctor
can
to
do
the
anything.
procedure.
Okay.
Just because it's going to, the
But
pain medicine's going to keep you comfortable.
does Xanax affect, like,
The fetus?
no, not the fetus,
Uh-huh.
just my clarity of thinking?
It shouldn't. I mean, you might be a little sleepy. But, yeah, other than that,
I would really, I don't mind if I have to stay longer. I'd really rather talk to him first. Is that not usually how you guys do it?
yeah, that's unfortunately, it's like I said, we have to make sure that that's in your system before you talk to the doctor. He's not going to be able to speak with you until he is ready to do it,
Okay.
and you're actually pants off in the...
This is the abortion clinic where the 5 pro-life activists broke the law obstructing entrance. The undercover woman, God bless her, is posing to be 28 weeks pregnant, which apparently happens a lot. And just for understanding, at 28 weeks, a baby is starting to hear and see things. They're positioning themselves head down because this is the final trimester. This clinic apparently specializes in murder of babies this far along. Notice how the nurse never refers to the child as a human being. She only refers to the baby girl as a fetus. And that she'll be completely comfortable whenever they extract her dismembered body parts from the womb because they've bled the child out by cutting its umbilical cord. She says that's the humane way of dealing with it, when in actuality and reality, it's the most opposite thing from humane. It's pure evil. And to make it even more grotesque, we learn that the baby girl's remains are just thrown into a medical waste bin or a trash can to be burned. I mean, I literally feel like I'm describing a death cult, and I probably am. But did you notice how they referred to miscarriages as spontaneous abortions? As if to say that when a baby dies in the womb, it's the same thing as an abortion? Also, did you notice when she was asking, when the undercover woman was asking about the procedure, the nurse said, "She'll be alive when you go to sleep." What does that tell you? They know it's a living person, and yet they proceed with these murders to perpetuate the death cult and the business of genocide. Now, the article made reference to what happens at the end of the video where the nurse is making her take 2 Xanax before she can meet with the abortionist, which is obviously medical manipulation. I would call it malpractice, like drugging someone up so they have no reservations or qualms about killing their child. The article goes on to say, attorneys at Thomas More Society filed an emergency motion Wednesday with the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia, asking the court to reconsider its order detaining Handy, one of the girls that was a pro-life activist, while she awaits sentencing. The attorneys maintain Handy and the other activists were peacefully demonstrating, which is a protected right. Well, they're correct that it is a protected right, but they also say this. Thomas More said, Miss Handy was there to prevent these horrific live abortions, which does not violate the FACE Act. End quote. Now, again, it's absolutely admirable what these 5 people did, but they did violate that act by blocking the entrance with a human chain of people linking arms to prevent mothers and staff from coming into the building. That's literally half of what the FACE Act is about. Thomas More also said, she has become a victim, Handy has, of the merciless drive-by Biden's Department of Justice to prosecute those who are trying to protect preborn human beings. To add to that injustice, she was incarcerated when the true violence continues to be committed against innocent children. Now, with that, I agree. We've talked numerous times on this show about the imbalance of justice under this regime. They have thrown into prison and are facing fines and prison time, these people, but the death cult gets off scot-free. Not to mention the destructive wake of Black Lives Matter and also the pro-death clans attacking pregnancy centers since the overturning of Roe v. Wade. I think there's been something like 60 attacks. So the imbalance of justice must stop. If there is to be any justice at all, abortion needs to be nationally criminalized, equivalent to homicide. And in the meantime, pro-lifers have to minister to these women in just fashion. The majority of you are coffee drinkers, and maybe some of you fancy yourselves coffee connoisseurs. Well, whether you're someone who likes to down a quick cup to get a caffeine dose, or you just enjoy the art of crafting an excellent cup of joe, you've got to give my friends at Blackout Coffee a shot. They've got bags of ground or whole bean coffee or single serve pods. They've got many different blends, flavors, and roasts. My personal favorite is called Morning Reaper. It's one of their medium roasts. Use my code BLAKE23 for 20% off. That's BLAKE23 for a discount, and level up your morning cup with Blackout Coffee.